Hi guys, my name's Bridget. I'm one of the exercise physiologists here at Vector Health. Today I wanted to go over a disease called Parkinson's disease and just talk about some of the pathophysiology with that and how exercise can potentially help. So Parkinson's disease is the second most common neurodegenerative disease, second after Alzheimer's. And so neurodegenerative means that there is a breakdown of part of the neurological system. The neurological system including the brain and the spinal cord and all the nerves innervated throughout our body. So Parkinson's disorder is specifically degeneration of the receptors that accept dopamine. Within our neurological system, we have certain receptors for very specific cells, and so those receptors' jobs are to sit there and wait for the cell that innervates it to bind to it, and then when that happens, an event occurs. So for example, a key has a very specific lock that it works with. So I have a key to unlock the front door of my house, and that only works on the front door of my house. So that receptor sits there and waits for its specific key, in the case of Parkinson's, dopamine, to come and attach to it, and then that sends off an electrical impulse down the rest of the neuron to continue an event. In Parkinson's, those locks start to deteriorate. So even though you're having a whole heap of dopamine release from the part in the brain that releases dopamine, those receptors start to deteriorate, and so those messages that the dopamine are trying to send are not going to the rest of the body. Dopamine is used to control movement and the smoothness of movement, and then it is also used to control things like our feelings of motivation and our feelings of reward. So when we achieve something and we get that feeling of being really successful, that's dopamine coming in and flooding our system, and we're feeling really motivated to continue pursuing the things that we're doing. So some of the symptoms of Parkinson's include arresting tremor. We've got slowness of movement, also termed bradykinesia, fatigue, rigid muscles, so a look of like really tightness, impaired posture and balances, sleep disturbances, and fatigue. The thing with Parkinson's disorder is that it affects every single individual differently. So if you've seen one person with Parkinson's disorder, you've only seen one person with Parkinson's disorder. The disease is very individualized, and therefore the treatment approach has to be very individualized, and that includes the different sorts of medications, the other sorts of medical interventions, and then also the specific exercise prescription. So the other thing about Parkinson's is because we get these issues with movement, individuals who have Parkinson's end up being quite sedentary, and so they don't actually get the same amount of stimulus through their day-to-day activity because of the issues that they have with movement. Means that it puts them at a really high risk of passing away from a cardiac event and developing other cardiac comorbidities. So exercise becomes really, really important to help reduce our risk of developing a cardiac event or passing away from a cardiac event, and then it can also help with those issues with movement. So the tremor, performing nice big movements. It doesn't unfortunately stop the disease progression, but it does just help us alleviate and reduce the severity of those symptoms so we can still have a really nice, long, good quality of life. There has been a vast amount of research in the different types of exercise that can help Parkinson's, and it's not just a one-size-fits-all. So dancing has been shown to improve your balance, coordination, and your overall motor output. There's also been really, really good results from Tai Chi training, your boxing, your resistance training, and then also your aerobic training to try and decrease your risk of a cardiovascular event. If you experience Parkinson's disorder, or if you know anyone that experiences Parkinson's disorder, please come and have a chat to me at Vector Health. I'd be really, really interested in trying to help you reduce those symptoms that you're experiencing and try and get a little bit more out of your day-to-day life. Thanks so much for listening. I hope to talk to you soon. Bye guys.